Hi guys, and happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, August 20th, and I know I did one sheet wonders last week, but I'm going to continue this week, at least today, with the one sheet wonder, because this is one I saw online, and I can't remember who it was or even where it was. I'm not sure if it was on one of my Facebook groups or if it was on a YouTube, but it's using one sheet of DSP. So for this, we are using from the July to December mini catalog, we're using the Boughs of Holly. We're also, as a die, going to be using the Holly Berry dies. Now, funny story. When I went to order this bundle, they were out of the stamp. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I think I can do okay with the dies only. So it's one of the few times where I bought the dies only. So we're going to be using a die from that. We're going to be using this wonderful Boughs of Holly. And then we're also going to be using these greetings. I got the Very Best Occasions bundle. This is on page 68 of the July to December catalog. Now, I wasn't going to buy it because I'm so upset that they got rid of our trio die that had the corner rounder. But I thought I'll give it a chance. But we're going to be using these two words from this. And let me show you how we're going to get started. Now, I'm not going to show you every single, we're going to put it together, but I may not show you the words or the greetings on all of them. But like I said, we're using that Holly, Boughs of Holly, which has these fabulous colors in it. So we have Cherry Cobbler, and this is Evening Evergreen, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Poppy Parade, Real Red, Sahara Sand, Shaded Spruce, Soft Succulent, and Soft Suede. Ooh, I about lost it there. Okay, so again, I'm going to take this. I'm going to figure out, because you're going to need 8 card bases. Now, you could stretch this out to 10 cards, but we're going to say 8. So I'm going to look here. That almost too dark, that almost too light. I do like that green, so I'm going to pull out that Shaded Spruce. We're going to use the Sahara Sand for our sentiments. So I do like the Real Red. All right, so let's see. So far I have these two. I do like Poppy Parade. Of course, I like Old Olive. Now these, I think, just look a little too dark. See how it kind of blends in? I think those are just a little too dark. That Cherry Cobbler might work good, but this reminds me more of the Poppy Parade or the Real Red. So these are going to be my 4 card bases. All right. So let me go ahead. Let me get those prepped. Let me get this kind of mess off to the side for a second. All right, so let's get those prepped. So we're going to score. Oh. All right, so we're going to score at 4 1/4. I know, I should have prepped this ahead of time like before, but I really wanted to show you the actual time it takes to go ahead and do these. Okay, so now I'm going to flip these over so the bump side is up. And then we're going to cut all these at 5 1/2 for our card bases. All right. And there's our card. Oops. Ooh, I moved that. And there's our card bases ready to go. We'll score and burnish those as we get along. All right. So now here it is for the 12 by 12. This is how we're going to cut it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to move this over to the 1 inch here. And you're going to cut a strip. Then you're going to turn it 90 degrees and cut off another strip. So now essentially you're left with a 10 by 10. And here I'll pull out the arm so you can see. So you're left with, I'm sorry, an 11 by 11. Okay. So now on these, oh, let me show you. Here's, and this is a retired DSP that I only have one sheet left of, and I'm hoarding it. I'm saving it. So on these, for the next step, I went and cut at 2.5. But that leaves you with an 8.5 by 8.5. So when you put that into your squares, it's a 4 1/4 that takes up the whole card, which isn't a bad thing because they go straight to the edge. But I always like having a little bit of a layer around it, or card showing through. So on the video I watched, the next cut was 2.5, but I think I'm going to do 2 3/4, and we'll see what it turns out like. And if you don't like it, if we don't like it, we will go back to the old way. All right, so here's 2 3/4. So this essentially should leave you, I think, an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Yes. So here's 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. So half of that's going to be 4 1/8. So I think I'm going to like that a little bit better. So if I go 4 1/8 here, making sure 8 1/4, yes, 4 1/8 here, and then 4 1/8 here. That's going to make just a little bit smaller square, and I think it's going to show off our cardstock even better. All right, so then you have these two pieces that are 2 3/4. So we're going to cut these at 4 4. Let's see. No, we're going to come at 4 1/8. So if you cut this one in half, it's going to be exactly 4 1/8. If you cut this at 4 1/8, you're going to have a little piece left over. So 4 1/8, 4 1/8, and you have a square left that is 2 3/4 square. Okay, so there's all our pieces. Now just for the sake of this, I'm going to turn it upside down so I can see my differences. All right, take those strips you had, and we're going to cut 8 1-inch. So I like cutting, I'm sorry, it's 1 inch this way, and it's going to be 2 inches this way. So we're going to do those little rectangles again. I'm going to cut it 4 4 so I can make less overall cuts. So here's 4 4, and that's left with 4. Then we're going to cut that at 2. So that'll give me 6 of those 1 by 2 squares. Let me put this back down because I like using this edge to line them all up. All right, and there's 2. So since I did 3 layers, that has 6 there. So I'm going to cut 2 more 2-inch. So your ultimate goal is to be left with 8 of those 2 by 1s, which, if you remember from last week's video, is going to be some focal points. So what we have left here is, let's see, 6. We have a 7-inch square, so I'm going to cut that in half at 3 1/2. Okay, now all of our pieces are done. All right, so let's take this cardstock and yes, usually I make sure they're all lined up in the corner on my cutter, and you can absolutely do that, but I'm just going to do them here just for time's sake, so I don't run into another half-hour video like I did before. My videos usually are right at 20 minutes. But last week, that one went 35 minutes, I think it was. I think that was not the Now card. I think that was the Wow card. Yes. All right. Oh, and I want to show those to you. Because now I did finish them off with some of the, let me finish this last fold. So when I showed them to you last week, grab them out of my little stack here. I did these were the Now and Cabal. Excuse me. So I added those pearlized, what are they called? Pearlized enamel effects. I put pearls on all of them. So here they are from last week. So I actually took them, this was a Now, this was a Wow, and now I think I'm going to do almost a Cabal, because if I had embossed these, they really would have been Cabal. But just wanted to show you how I added a lot of dots. And so that was from last week. So here's the ones without layers. So these were the Get It Done Now. And then these were the Wow, because I added that layer, oh, and they're upside down, that layer of cardstock. So I just added dots, the pearls, to all those. All right, just wanted to show you those from last weekend. Okay, so now we have these. Sorry, I really like, since I have this mat on here, I really like making sure they're really burnished on that one side. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put them in my piles. So here's my shaded spruce. Here's my real red. Here's my poppy parade. Here's my old olive. And now we're going to start in on, of course, all the cards. Now, there is going to be one little difference from what I did on my samples here, because I had a strip left over, because there's one I didn't like, so I cut it down a little bit, so I had a strip left here. But we'll pretty much mimic them all the same. All right, so first we're going to take our strips. We're going to decide which color we want them on. See, that fades right. I don't know if you can see. That fades in to it too much. I think I kind of like the real red and the old olive for these, even though that looks like it's a poppy parade. I'm going to do these two. All right, so let's move these off to the side for a sec. Remember, you can stretch these out to get into 10 cards. All right, so I think I'm going to take the ones that have a little bit of that red. See how those all have the red accents? So I'm going to make sure those go on that real red. Let's see. Yep, all right. So on this, let me grab up my Stampin' Seal. I did put a new seal in, and I've had to order more now. Okay, so where's my mat over here? Because I'm getting way too much tape on here. So let's go ahead like this. I like putting down a little bit, figuring out how much of an edge I want on that side. I'm going to keep that red dot down. Figure out how much of an edge I want there. And then these two will just be, I'm going to do it, figure out where I want those to be. So there's your first one. Now if you wanted to come in with, I don't have the exact, if you wanted to come in with like washi tape or something like that to put a line down there, you can. Or your sentiment can go straight down here. So there's the one. This one, of course, I'm going to do it a little bit different than yesterday. I'm sorry, last week. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this one a little up. This one a little down. I think I'm a little bit crooked. I should have gone on the lines. Yes, that's crooked. Let me see if I can get that up. Hopefully I didn't push it down too hard. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and go like that. This one I'm going to come down just a little bit more. And these I'm going to put off center. So see, I'm not all matchy-matchy like I was before. And there you're on that one. Okay, for this next one, I'm going to take 2 of these. And I'm going to use both sides. So I'm going to figure out how I want that to look. See now, if you had done it at the 2.5, this would go straight up, like this one. See how that goes straight up? I said I like having a little bit of a layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do it like that. Gotta watch that little holly berry there. I'm gonna bring it in a little bit like that. Perfect. All right. I'm kind of moving over here as I'm doing these. All right, so for this next one, I'm going to go ahead and take this. And I'm going to figure out, let's see. I'm going to go ahead, I'm trying to think how I want to do this one. Because the other sides are so, actually I have 2 of these left. The other sides are so, they're very busy, but let's try it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. I'm going to figure out which way is up, so it looks like that. And you're going to look here, and this is 4 and an 1/8, if I remember right. Yes, so see that? So essentially, it's 10.5 centimeters, which is easier for me to do because 10.5 goes into 3.5. So I'm going to go 3.5 here, which turns out to be 1 3/8. And I think that's what I did do. Remember, math is hard. 1 3/8 or 3.5 centimeters, however you want to look at it. And then look at this one, perfectly left. Okay. So on this one, I'm going to figure out which color style I like. I think, see that just blends right in. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Poppy Parade because it looks like I hadn't used the Poppy Parade yet. And I think I got these out of order. Not that it matters. It doesn't have to be in order. In fact, it probably won't be. All right, so let's go ahead here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the border I want. See, this card is off. Let me put it over here in my trimmer and get that score line correct. Okay, just for me, I really notice it when the 2 don't line up when I'm doing this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and figure out I don't know what's going on with me and the tape today. It's probably because it's a new one and I don't have my angle right. I don't know. So then we're going to leave that very small space. That very small space. And that one's a little crooked, but it's all right. That's how you know it's a Roxi card. And then we're going to put this over the top. You could do the exact same over the top and layer it, but we're going to do this. And that's why I was saying this is a little busy. It looks a little bit better on this one because of the patterns, but I'm going to be all right with that because we're going to be putting our greeting over it anyway. Let me show you what I mean. So it's going to be there. We're going to have our greeting on there. So it's not so bad. All right. Oops. Wrong way. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. So then there's that one. All right. Now we're going to take these big ones. This and this are going to be used for one. We're going to split this one in half. So let's see. So this was 7 centimeters, or 2 3/4. So again, we're going to that 1 3/8, which measures up to 3.5 centimeters. All right. So on this one, I think this one might work on this. No, I still don't like it on that. I'm really thinking I shouldn't get taken this shaded spruce. Let me think. All right, let's go ahead. So on this one, I'm going to put I'm going to center this kind of. I'm leaving thin at the top, but I'm doing a little bit thicker near the bottom. I mean, near the side. Thin at the top and bottom, a little bit more showing at the side. The reason I'm doing that is because when I do this piece, I want it to cover both. So see, that's kind of, all right. It's not going to be perfect. If you have a definite pattern, you're looking at those items in there. So I'm just doing this up and down like that. Okay. This one I'm going to do in half. Now this one I might use, I think I'm going to use that other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. So we have that little diagonal stripe there. Sorry, lots of dead air time. We talked about that last weekend, I know. Get your little border you want. And there's that one. Okay. And then you have two that you can leave just like this. I'm trying to figure out. One of them I did like this, so you're just going to have your square. I'm trying to look to see where those, I guess there's some that are going to be upside down all the time anyway. So there you have that one like that. And this one, I have two of these. Oh, you know what? I messed up. These are supposed to be here. I like it better that way though, because then you use one of those to make like the book. So let's see. Oh, let's go like that. All right. Do we want to do it? Because then that breaks up that dark green where I feel like it's going in. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So make sure you have it even near the top and bottom. I'm going to go like this just so I can kind of see where that needs to be at. Doesn't mean that it's completely lined up. In fact, I think I put that one on crooked, so that tells me that that's about like that. I didn't leave enough edge. There we go. See how I left very little edge there, and it's crooked besides. So let's go ahead and leave very little edge there. For better or for worse, it's going down. And then we'll put that in there. And make sure you have your little line up the way you want it. I hope I haven't had my head in the shot this whole time, but if I had, please forgive me. So there you have these that we did today. All right, here's the ones from yesterday and their counterparts. So let's see if I can do this. So what we have here is, so this one's like this. You can see how that stripe's just a little bit bigger, because remember that's that difference of that 1/8 of an inch. We have this one that is just your square. We have this one, which yesterday we had that extra piece, so that's how we had that stripe there. We have your diagonal ones. We have your triangular one. Oh, I have in my hand. We have this. We have this one. Then we have your offsets. Okay, now for your greetings. I am using, like I said, I'm using that from the Boughs, and I'm using the greetings from Very Best Occasions. I want to tell you on this die, because it is so intricate, I don't tape it down. You can use washi tape or your blue tape to hold it down, because you do want to go through, and I have a little piece of the blue tape here, so hopefully I've detacked them a little bit so they don't rip my cardstock. But on this one, because it's so intricate here, that you do want to go through a couple times. I did it once and it wasn't, I mean, I had to work with it, but when I go front, back, oops, front and back, just because I really want this part to come out smoothly. All right. Hopefully, I hope I took that tack off, otherwise I'm going to rip my cardstock. Okay, so far so good. So then when you pick this up, you're going to see how that inside piece pretty much falls right out. It's very intricate. So see, it's cut, but it's stuck in there because there's so many little prongs that are hanging onto it. But see how it's just coming straight out? And you have your little pieces. You can take your pick tool, you could use your low roller, but then get those out of the way. See how that is? So pretty. All right. Now I want to let you know on this Very Best Occasions that these two do work on there, but you have to line it up. Now this is where I probably will really get my hair in. All right, so let me show you. We're going to use Memento. You could use that soft suede because that's one of your colors, and it would show up good against the Sahara sand. All right, so you're going to ink this up, and what you're going to do is, you see how this is? You're going to, and I trim my stamps. You're going to make sure that's at the very bottom of that inside tag and go straight down. And then here's the other one. This one you have a little more room with. That one is very close, but it looks fabulous. So again, you're going to go down that edge where that tag is, go straight down. Okay. All right. So let's grab a couple of those. Let me get those. All right, so there's the 8 that we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, let's lay those down. And let's, oh, let me put this on my magnetic holder. That way I don't end up losing that. So see here, you could go like that. Oh, that is very pretty. So see, you can go like that. And then you have a little room here for your embellishments. Here's one that opens like this. Look how that looks, just so pretty. And if you wanted to put it up more on here, you could, and then do your jewels down here. But I kind of like it going off like that, because I think then those leaves pop up a little bit more. This one I probably would use either the white or the vanilla. See, you're mimicking that white there. I would probably do that like that, because there is so much darkness on that card. Same with this one. This looks fine. Maybe a soft succulent would have been good on here. Cut this out in soft succulent. But then again, that white really kind of brings up that darkness, even though there is no white showing on that one. This one, look at that. Or you could bring it down, but then you kind of lose your triangle. So this one I probably would do right in the middle like that. And then here's how, see how it gives it, that really is very subtle, but this then really brings out that white. All right, here you would do it on this, and either one's going to look fine. Or kind of like that one better, even though the white's there, it kind of mellows out that background. Same here. This one I think I would definitely use the white or the vanilla. In fact, I'm going to put that one down because I do like that one like that. And you see, I'm not worried about putting tape, adhesive, or glue behind this. I don't mind that that's moving and that's a little crooked. And on this one, I think I would put jewels or embellishments like up here, and I would do this a little more centered there. Again, I think I would probably use the white and put some jewels, like maybe in the 4 corners. All right, guys, so there you are. 8 more cards. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's telling me to take my pill. Oh, it went over 30 minutes again. Sorry. But on this, you can actually see we cut the cardstock. We cut out some of the phrases. So 8 cards in 32, 33 minutes still is not bad. 4 minutes a card. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.